So let's have a go at using beanbags in a sitting mindful movement practice. Firstly, any movements I suggest you make, just be really careful to stay within what's comfortable. The point of mindful movement isn't to be stretching, building up our strength, working past our limits. The point is to be doing a movement and just to be simply mindful of the different sensations that arise when we do that movement, and to notice when our attention wanders off, and in a gentle and kind way acknowledge when our attention wanders and gently escort that attention back to what we're physically sensing. So we can do the tiniest little movements and have a really useful, rich mindful movement experience. In mindful movement, it really is the case that less is more. So all the way through this practice, just back off from anything that is difficult or uncomfortable, and we can always go back to the default movement that I'll be talking us through shortly. When you first pick up a beanbag, what you might notice is the colour, the texture, the sound that beanbag makes. You can begin to notice what it's like to pass the beanbag from hand to hand, and the feel of the beans, the pellets, as you do that movement. And these are the things we can start bringing our attention to in this mindful movement practice. And when our attention wanders off, away from what we're physically sensing, again we're just acknowledging that and gently bringing the attention back to what we're sensing. So holding this beanbag, I'm wondering what this evokes for you. Are there memories, ideas about what you could do with this beanbag, ways in which holding this beanbag stirs up mental activity? And if that's happening, we can just acknowledge that and let those mental activities be alongside, in the background somewhere, and bring our attention back to what we're physically sensing. There's lots of time after the practice to pick up anything that we want to reflect on mentally about having a beanbag. So, initially we could have a practice just of noticing what it's like to pass the beanbag from hand to hand. We could do that more quickly, at more distance, or we could do it over a shorter period, or just be moving it simply from one hand to another. Or we could do that really slowly. We're just noticing the different experiences that come from moving in different ways, and also noticing how a mind can come in with different reactions, liking, not liking, wanting, not that bothered, bored, all kinds of stuff can be going on. Can we just let that be alongside and come back to what we're physically sensing? We can also do some dropping. Noticing what it's like to let go with one hand, receive the beanbag with the other. Do that to a higher distance. And if you notice you actually drop the beanbag, what's that like? To drop the beanbag deliberately, and again with caution about what's comfortable for you, and taking it slowly. You could drop it on the floor and notice what it's like to reach and pick up, drop, maybe reach with the other hand, drop, noticing how your body moves, the feelings as you pick up. And if you've been accidentally dropping already, or you drop accidentally in the future, notice how your reactions are to accidentally dropping compared to deliberately dropping. Maybe they're the same, maybe they're different. So, we can also see what it's like to move the beanbag from one hand to the other, but circling the body rather than passing in front. Again, be really cautious. This can be a bit of a stretch for our shoulders. So notice if there's any sense of wanting to stop, in which case you can always begin to circle and pass more from a movement side to side, and just gradually see if there's a way to pass comfortably behind your back? If there is, you can notice what that's like to do this sitting. There may be feelings of awkwardness or ease. Maybe noticing how your whole body moves depending on your chair to give you room to pass the beanbag round. We could try that one way and then go the other way. Just taking it slowly at the start to get a feel of what that's like. We could go really, really slowly, see what that stirs up in terms of reactions, kind of on slow motion. Or we could try going really fast if our shoulders permit it. And the quality of that. But maybe finding if there's a particular way round, clockwise, anti-clockwise, that's comfortable. And we can always go back to just passing if that feels more comfortable. We can bring in different kind of dropping, this time with eyes closed, see what happens. There might be a lot of actual dropping. You can always open your eyes again, if you prefer that. Playing around with eyes open, eyes closed. Noticing what it's like having that gap between drop and catch. We can go back to passing or circling, as you prefer, or a bit of both. We can also do a spiral. This can be a little harder sitting down, so we can spiral around our legs. Gets a bit awkward from the middle of the body for me, but maybe okay for you. Just again taking this really slowly. And go the other way. And we can go back to passing. We can also do a version of passing more vertically, again noticing what this is like for our shoulders, and we can, if our shoulders permit it, extend that to be passing above our head, maybe one way, another way, seeing what that's like. Before going back to passing or circling. And we can also do figure of 8 passes under our legs. So again, just really thinking about whether this is comfortable. We can just quite deliberately move the beanbag under our legs. Or if it feels right, we can raise our legs a bit to help pass under. Noticing how this shifts your body on your sitting bones as you do this. Maybe hold a little bit of strength in your core muscles. And we can go back to passing again. Another kind of dropping practice can be around the back. So you can see what it's like to drop from hand to hand, possibly cascading down your back. If you drop, noticing the reaction in you as you drop, what your mind comes up with, how it is to pick that beanbag up. And we can go once again back to passing or circling, whichever you find a kind of helpful baseline mindful movement practice.